This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Tonight, the cleanup is complete near a closed elementary school in North St. Louis County. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers removed radioactive contamination on the edge of Jana Elementary. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson, and All Red is off tonight.
And I'm Mike Bush. Federal officials have been working to remove the contaminated soil for about 10 months. Our Justina Cornell joins us in studio with details about just how much soil was removed. Justina?
Well, the school's closure made national headlines after there were conflicting reports of radioactive waste inside the school. Now, this excavation began after the school was shut down in 2022.
This just means that a very small section of a 14-mile creek they are actively remediating is a little safer.
Former Jana PTA president Ashley Burnall looks at an empty school, a place once crowded with kids. The Jana Elementary School sign is now down, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers signage is up. The North St. Louis County School shut down in 2022, and the U.S. Army Corps said there was a low level of radioactive contamination on the banks of the creek, which is on the edge of Jana Elementary's property boundary. After the shutdown, remediation work began.
Meaning radium, thorium, and uranium, all part of the processing for atomic weapons back in the 40s.
The St. Louis district manager for the cleanup program said it took 10-hour workdays over a 10-month span to complete the process.
We want to make sure that everybody understands that our commitment to the community.
More than 2 Olympic-sized pools worth of radioactive waste was removed. Some areas were as deep as 14 feet.
Some of the significant challenges were where the contamination actually was, pretty far down the creek bank and deep underneath the surface, and then just the challenges of working in an active stream.
This also comes at a time as local advocates, including Burnall, fight for federal legislation to get compensation for radioactive waste victims.
Elected officials who are supposed to go to D.C. to govern on behalf of the people fail time and time again to pass pertinent and relevant legislation.
The goal was to expand and extend the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act and include parts of the St. Louis region. But the program expires Friday.
And I think there is a coordinated effort to downplay the suffering of Americans at the hands of the government rather than to take accountability and responsibility.
Just about an hour ago, we've learned several lawmakers, including Congresswoman Cori Bush and Ann Wagner, are introducing a bipartisan amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act. This would try to extend and expand RECA, the program that compensates victims of radioactive waste.
Now to a developing story in St. Louis where police are looking for the driver who hit a cyclist and then drove away from the scene. This happened last week on Gravois Avenue. Tonight, Annie Krall spoke with employees and cyclists at the nonprofit where the injured man works. Annie.
Mike, ironically, Mike Taylor teaches bike safety at St. Louis Bee Works, which provides free classes about bike mechanics and safety. Taylor was heading home from work last Thursday night when a driver came out of the Quick Trip on the border of Tower Grove East, hit him, and drove off.
Mike Taylor had 8 broken ribs and road rash after being hit on his bike near the intersection of Gravois Avenue and Arsenal Street last Thursday. Taylor's coworkers at St. Louis Bee Works told us he was biking home from work, a nonprofit that teaches children ages 8 to 18 about bike mechanics and safety when a driver whipped out of the Quick Trip around 7 p.m., then left the scene.
But we live in a city where that guy's probably out on, I'll bet he's driving right now.
A Bee Works regular, Don Wisman, was stunned.
The person who does that, though, I feel sorry for them too, because they can't feel that my life is very, very meaningful, or they wouldn't do that.
Thankfully, a witness and paramedic responded quickly to remove Taylor from under a parked car where he slid after the crash. He spent 4 days at SLU Hospital, racking up a significant amount of medical debt. Unfortunately, that has happened before. Co-workers at Bee Works telling us that they've had 5 students and or teachers hit in the last few years, accelerating rates, they say, over the last 2 decades. TrailNet policy catalyst Charles Bryson advocating for pedestrian and cyclist safety, pointing to the Complete Streets bill to do more with safer pathways for bikers, especially when they're teachers like Taylor.
So they know how to navigate the streets of our city. What I hope happens is some aggressive work by the police department as well as our circuit attorney. People need to be held accountable for this activity.
Co-workers tell us that Taylor will be out of work for about 3 weeks as he continues to recover. If you'd like to help Taylor with his medical expenses, there is a GoFundMe page for him. You can find a link to that on our website in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Police are investigating a road rage shooting near I-70 in North St. Louis. Investigators say a man was shot and injured in the arm about 90 minutes ago at Von Full Street and Adelaide. This is the third shooting this week on or near I-70. Early yesterday, a man and woman were shot near I-70 and Madison Street in North City. The man died. The woman is recovering. And then on Tuesday in North County, police shut down a stretch of westbound I-70 near Bermuda for several hours to investigate reports of shots fired.
Tonight, thousands of people are expected downtown as Greater St. Louis Inc. kicks off Downtown Summer Nights. The new event features some of the best food, drinks, and live music our area has to offer. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki. He's live on Keener Plaza, where the event is underway. Holden.
Yeah, Kelly, and we've got a pretty good crowd out here. And remember, it was just 4 days ago that Citizens for a Greater Downtown sent out a press release stating that we are at full 5-alarm crisis due to the crime in downtown St. Louis. Now, the organizers of Downtown Summer Nights are pushing back on that narrative and hoping the summer concert series resonates across the region that this is the place to be.
Downtown St. Louis has a well-documented history of crime, but Kurt Weigel of Greater St. Louis Incorporated believes those fears are largely overblown.
Our crime downtown has been downtown over 40% in the last year and a half. We continue to want to drive to zero, but I think that's a really good step in the right direction.
That's why Weigel spent the day in Keener Plaza, soaking up the sun.
You just really feel the spirit of the city. You feel what downtown should be all the time, and we're moving toward that, getting a little closer every day.
As Greater St. Louis Incorporated kicks off Downtown Summer Nights, Weigel hopes to show people from around the region what St. Louis is all about.
A few weeks ago, we had 2,000 people on Washington Avenue having a good time. And Downtown Summer Nights is an extension of that all through the summer. We're going to have movie nights, cocktail hours, performances, spoken word, you name it.
Downtown Summer Nights are just part of Greater St. Louis Incorporated's larger plan to revitalize what they're calling the Gateway Mall from the Arch to City Park, extending out to the Dome and Busch Stadium, starting with pop-up events.
The idea is to get the private real estate to work better with the public realm, which we would call the park space here. I think we're on the right track, and we just need to keep building every day.
With that in mind, I wanted to know why he thought this plan to bring people back to downtown would succeed when similar plans in the past have failed.
We're working together, civic-minded businesses at GSL, in the mayor's office, the city, in order to drive safe, vibrant, and beautiful. If you deliver on a space like that, that feels safe and is safe, there's beautiful wherever you go, and there's a sense of activity all the time, people will come.
Now, the two questions on everyone's mind, cost and security. Downtown Summer Nights are free every Thursday night running through August. And Weigel actually told me today that Mayor Jones gave the police chief the ability to actually deploy extra officers to the area if needed. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
The Vatican has denied an appeal to keep St. Barnabas Parish open in O'Fallon, Missouri. The church merged with Assumption Parish last August as part of the St. Louis Archdiocese All Things New consolidation plan. 7 other parishes with appeals are still waiting for a decision: St. Bernadette, St. Agnes, St. Lawrence, St. Paul, St. Matthew, and Our Lady of Sorrows.
Coming up, a longtime restaurant and a bar known for a swingin' good time is closing in Maplewood.
Plus, a 102-year-old World War II veteran's sentimental journey, how he's marking the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
And we have sunshine getting ready to set in St. Louis. Another sunny day tomorrow, and then the weekend comes and subtle rain chances. We're breaking down the timing for you coming up.
Project 5 and behavioral health response to provide mental health counseling. If you or anyone you know needs mental health support, it is available until 10:30 tonight. You can call 988 to speak to a trained counselor. Teens can text Be Heard to 31658.